Alright folks, welcome back. Look, the reality on the ground is shifting fast as we push toward 2026. And if you have been paying attention to the supply chains and the legislative chatter, we are in a different world than we were just a few years ago. We are not just seeing a temporary spike in sales anymore, we are witnessing a fundamental, structural shift in how Americans approach their personal security and long-term preparedness. People have stopped looking at firearms as range toys or weekend hobbies, and have started viewing them as essential life-saving equipment that needs to be stockpiled while the getting is still good. I have been spending a lot of time at the range lately talking to guys who are buying 3 or 4 of the same model just to ensure they have parts commonality and magazine redundancy for the years ahead. We are seeing shelves that used to be packed with niche options now showing nothing but empty gaps where the most trusted duty-grade models used to sit. If you walk into your local shop today, you will notice the lines are longer and the restocks are getting slower and more unpredictable. Citizens are laser-focused on tools built for high round counts, extreme durability, and the ability to run reliably with whatever 9mm or 45 ACP ammo they can find on the shelf. Today, I am breaking down 12 specific sidearms that have become the gold standard for this new era of preparedness. I am going deep into the frame geometry, the slide serrations, the internal tolerances, and the recoil impulses that make these guns disappear from the market the moment they hit the counter. If you want to stay ahead of the next wave of shortages, you need to understand the technical nuances of these tools before the choices shrink even more. Number 12. Sig Sauer P320 X10 Comp. When it comes to raw stopping power in a modern, modular package, the Sig Sauer P320 X10 Comp is currently dominating the conversation for 2026 survival kits. This isn't just a 9mm on steroids, it is a purpose-built 10mm machine designed to handle the high pressures of a caliber often referred to as the king of the woods. The heart of this beast is the single-port integrated compensator built right into the slide. Unlike a threaded-on comp that can carbon lock or shift your point of impact over time, this expansion chamber uses the gas from the shot to drive the muzzle down, effectively cutting the snap of the 10mm auto by nearly 30%. When I am running full-power 200-grain hardcast loads through this, I can actually feel the difference in how the gun tracks back to the target compared to a standard 5-inch barrel. You are getting the ballistics of a magnum caliber with the recovery speed of a much smaller gun. Technically, this thing is a marvel because it gives you a 15-round flush fit capacity, which is almost unheard of for a 10mm this manageable. The X-Series grip module has been redesigned with a deep undercut and an extended beaver tail, allowing you to get your hand as close to the bore axis as possible to mitigate that heavy reciprocating mass of the slide. It comes standard with SIG X-Ray 3-day and night sights, but the slide is also cut for the Romeo 2 or Delta Point Pro footprint, making it ready for a red dot right out of the box. The integrated compensator is a massive win here because it makes fast follow-up shots with heavy 10mm loads actually possible for the average shooter. You are getting a massive 15+1 capacity in a frame that does not feel like a 2x4 in your hand, combined with a modular fire control unit that lets you swap the internals into different grip modules if your mission set changes. On the flip side, that compensation port makes this gun significantly louder and produces a noticeable flash increase in low-light environments, which is something you have to train for. You also have to consider that 10mm ammunition is expensive and can be harder to stockpile in bulk compared to 9mm, and the slide and spring assembly are notoriously stiff, requiring a firm break-in period of at least 200 rounds of high-velocity ammo before you can fully trust it. Finally, it comes with a higher price point that reflects the professional-grade engineering, which might be a barrier for some budget-conscious buyers, but for a long-term woods gun or a heavy-duty sidearm, it is hard to beat. Number 11. Glock 45. When you talk about a crossover pistol that was born from actual military requirements and the feedback of professional end users, the Glock 45 is exactly what comes to mind. It is essentially the perfect marriage between the full-size frame of a Glock 17 and the compact, lightning-fast slide of a Glock 19. This combination gives you 17 rounds of 9mm in the magazine, providing a full-hand grip for maximum leverage and control, while the shorter 4-inch barrel makes the gun transition between targets much faster in a high-stress environment. In the world of 2026 stockpiling, the Glock 45 is a top-tier choice because it uses the most common magazines and parts on the planet. Technically, this is a Gen 5 gun, meaning it features the Glock Marksman barrel with improved polygonal rifling for tighter groupings at distance. It does away with the finger grooves, so it fits a wider variety of hand sizes, and it includes the NDLC finish, which is a diamond-like coating that prevents corrosion even if the gun is sitting in a humid safe or a vehicle for months at a time. The internals have been refined to be smoother than previous generations, and the flared magwell makes those emergency reloads under pressure much more forgiving. It is a duty tool through and through, designed to run dry, dirty, and hot without skipping a beat. When I am at the range, I notice the reset on this trigger is much more tactile than the Gen 4 models. And the ambidextrous slide stop is a welcome addition for left-handed shooters or for those training in weak-hand-only drills. You are getting the ultimate balance of a full-size grip for superior control and a shorter slide that cycles faster and is easier to clear from a holster in a hurry. Because it is built on the Glock 17 frame architecture, it has massive magazine compatibility, allowing you to use 19, 24, or even 33-round stick mags if things get really hairy. The main drawback is that the full-size grip is much harder to conceal under a light shirt compared to a standard 19, as that extra length tends to print or poke out through your clothing. You are also still dealing with the standard plastic Glock sights, which most serious shooters will want to replace immediately with steel or night sights, adding to your total investment. Some users find the grip angle a bit blocky compared to more ergonomic rivals, and the lack of an optics cut on the base model means you will have to pay extra for the MOS version if you want to run a red dot, but for a pure combat handgun, the 45 is a workhorse. Number 10. Springfield Hellcat Pro Comp OSP. If you are looking for a concealed carry piece that shoots like a full-size combat handgun, the Springfield Hellcat Pro Comp OSP is currently vanishing from store shelves for very good reason. Springfield took their already successful Hellcat Pro and integrated a single port compensator directly into the barrel and slide assembly. This is not just a gimmick for the catalog, it is a functional piece of engineering that vents gases upward to counteract muzzle flip, making this one of the flattest shooting micro-compacts on the market today. In an era where every shot counts, having a gun that stays on target during rapid fire is a massive tactical advantage. This pistol features a 15-round flush-fit magazine capacity, which is incredible given how slim the frame is, measuring in at just 1 inch wide. The slide is OSP, or Optical Sight Pistol, meaning it is pre-cut for micro-red dots like the Shield RMSC footprint, which is becoming the industry standard for 2026. The hammer-forged barrel and melanite finish ensure that the internals can withstand thousands of rounds of high-pressure defensive ammo without significant wear. It also features a versatile accessory rail for lights or lasers, turning this tiny carry gun into a capable home defense tool if it is the only one you have within reach. The integrated compensator is a game-changer for such a light gun, significantly reducing felt recoil and allowing you to track your sights through the entire recoil cycle without losing your picture. You get a class-leading 15+1 capacity in a package that is thin enough to disappear inside the waistband, combined with an optics-ready slide that lets you mount a red dot low enough to co-witness with your iron sights. The adaptive grip texture is also excellent, feeling smooth against your skin but locking into your hand the moment you apply pressure. Because of that compensation port, the muzzle blast is directed upward, which can be distracting and noticeably louder, especially if you have to fire it from a retention position close to your body. You will also see a bit more carbon fouling on your front sight and optic lens due to the gases venting right in front of them, requiring more frequent cleaning to keep your sight picture clear. Additionally, while the trigger is crisp, it can feel a bit heavy for shooters used to competition-style setups, and the magazines are proprietary and can be quite expensive when you are trying to stockpile 10 or 20 of them, but the sheer shootability of this Pro Comp model makes it a top-tier defensive choice. Number 9. Walther PDP Full Size. If you are a shooter who prioritizes a world-class trigger and superior ergonomics, the Walther PDP Full Size is the sleeper hit that professionals are quietly stockpiling for the long haul. Walther fundamentally redesigned the striker-fired pistol with this model, focusing on what they call performance duty. The standout feature is the performance duty trigger, which is widely considered the best factory striker-fired trigger on the market today. It has a distinct, light take-up, followed by a very clean break at roughly 5 pounds and a reset that is incredibly short and tactile. In a high-stress defensive situation, that kind of consistency allows for surgical accuracy that few other polymer guns can match. The PDP is also built specifically for red dot optics from the ground up. The super terrain slide serrations are deeply cut and protrude above the slide, giving you a massive amount of surface area to rack the gun. Regardless of whether you are wearing gloves or if your hands are slick with rain or sweat, The grip texture, known as the performance duty texture, uses a pyramid design that locks into your palm without being overly abrasive against your skin during concealment. It is a beefy, rugged firearm designed to handle tens of thousands of rounds, making it a perfect candidate for a buy once, cry once long-term investment. You are getting incredible ergonomics with a grip that naturally points to the target, combined with those aggressive super terrain serrations that make weapon manipulation effortless in any weather condition. The optics-ready platform is also designed with a deep cut that allows for a lower co-witness with iron sights, giving you a more natural transition to red dot shooting. However, the slide on the PDP is noticeably chunkier and wider than a Glock or a SIG, which can make it feel a bit top-heavy and more difficult to find comfortable holsters for concealed carry. Because the slide has so much mass, some shooters find that it has a bit more muzzle flip or felt snap compared to guns with a lower bore axis. You also have to deal with Walther's proprietary magazine system, which can be difficult to find in local shops during a shortage and generally costs more than your standard aftermarket options, but for the shooter who wants the best possible trigger out of the box, the PDP is the answer. Number 8. Glock 43X MOS. The Glock 43X MOS remains one of the most trusted carry pistols in the country because it strikes a near-perfect balance between a slim, concealable frame and a full-size grip. People love this model because it stays reliable with all types of ammunition and rarely jams, even after grueling practice sessions at the range with cheap 115 grain ball ammo. The MOS version is the one everyone is grabbing for 2026 because it comes factory cut for micro red dots, allowing you to mount an optic without needing expensive custom machine work. It is thin enough to hide under a thin t-shirt, yet the grip is long enough to get all your fingers on the gun, giving you the stability of a much larger pistol. Under the hood, this gun carries the classic Glock reputation for durability and simplicity. It features a 10-round factory capacity in a single stack plus magazine, providing enough firepower for most defensive encounters, though many shooters look to the aftermarket to increase that. The NDLC finish provides excellent protection against sweat and corrosion, which is vital for a gun that lives against your body every day in a humid holster. It is often the very first pistol I recommend to new owners because it is simple to operate, easy to maintain, and functions consistently when needed most. You are looking at a very slim frame that makes concealment incredibly easy, paired with an MOS optic cut that is ready for modern glass right out of the box. The recoil feel is surprisingly smooth for such a light handgun, and the grip texture is aggressive enough to keep the gun planted during rapid fire. Plus, because it is a Glock, you have access to the largest aftermarket support network in the world for holsters, sights, and spare parts. The factory trigger feel is often described as average or mushy, which might lead some shooters to look for upgrades shortly after purchase. The accessory rail is a non-standard short rail, meaning you are limited to specific lights like the Streamlight TLR 7 sub, designed only for this slimline series. Additionally, the factory magazines are slightly pricey for a 10-round capacity, and shooters with very large palms might find the grip a bit thin for maximum comfort during long-range sessions, but as a concealment tool, it is essentially the gold standard. Number 7. FN 509 Tactical. The FN 509 Tactical is built like a tank, and Americans are buying it because it thrives in harsh weather, heavy use, and high-stress situations. This pistol was born from the modular handgun system trials, meaning its DNA is rooted in military-grade endurance and testing. It comes out of the box with tall night sights designed to co-witness with an optic, a threaded barrel for suppressors or compensators, and one of the most versatile optic mounting systems on the market today. The frame features aggressive, multi-textured surfacing that ensures the gun stays glued to your hand even if you are dealing with rain, mud, or sweat. Technically, the 509 Tactical is a beast when it comes to capacity, often shipping with 17 and 24-round magazines that give you a massive advantage in an emergency. The internal geometry is designed to handle a steady diet of high-pressure duty ammunition without the parts wear you see on lesser handguns. It also features fully ambidextrous controls, including the magazine release and slide stop, making it a perfect choice for left-handed shooters or for those who want to be prepared to operate their weapon with either hand under duress. This is the kind of pistol people buy when they want professional-grade security that will function for decades. The suppressor-ready threaded barrel and the tall night sights give you an immediate tactical advantage without needing to spend extra on upgrades. You get incredibly high magazine capacity right in the box, combined with a heavy-duty build quality that feels solid and handles recoil remarkably well during rapid-fire strings. On the downside, the overall weight is slightly heavy, which can make it a bit of a chore for all-day concealed carry if you do not have a high-quality belt. The frame and tall sights make it bulky, often requiring specific holsters that can accommodate the extra height and the threaded barrel length. You will also notice a higher beginner cost compared to entry-level polymer guns, and the recoil spring is notoriously strong, which might make the slide difficult to rack for shooters with less hand strength, but that heavy spring is exactly what helps it eat high-pressure duty rounds all day long. Number 6. Staccato P4. The Staccato P4 represents the absolute pinnacle of the 2011 platform, and it is currently exploding in popularity across the states as shooters move toward high-end, high-performance tools. For years, the 1911 was the king of triggers, but it lacked the capacity for modern defense. Staccato fixed that by creating a double-stack version that is as reliable as a duty Glock but as precise as a match-grade race gun. The P4 is the professional's choice, featuring a 4.4-inch bull barrel that adds weight to the front of the gun to virtually eliminate muzzle flip. In 2026, shooters are stockpiling these because they want the highest possible hit probability when the pressure is on. This pistol is built with the 7075 T6 aluminum or steel frame and a grip module that is designed to soak up recoil, allowing for split times that other handguns simply cannot match. The trigger is a crisp, single-action-only masterpiece that breaks like glass, which significantly reduces the human error factor during a defensive engagement. Staccato has moved the 1911 platform into the modern era by ensuring these guns run reliably with various defensive loads, and they've added an optic mounting system that is rugged enough for duty use. It is an investment piece, but in a world of shrinking choices, many believe it is the only handgun you will ever need. You are getting the best-in-class single-action trigger that provides an unmatched level of speed and accuracy, combined with a high-capacity double-stack magazine system that gives you the firepower of a modern polymer gun. The bull barrel design and heavy frame make the shooting experience incredibly flat and stable, while the overall craftsmanship ensures that the gun will hold its value and function flawlessly through tens of thousands of rounds. The most obvious hurdle is the extreme price point, which is often triple the cost of a standard striker-fired pistol, making it a significant financial commitment. The magazines are also specialized and very expensive, requiring careful maintenance to ensure they stay reliable over time. Additionally, because it is a single-action gun with a manual safety, it requires a much higher level of training and muscle memory to operate safely and effectively under stress compared to a simple point-and-shoot system, but for those who master it, the performance is unparalleled. Number 5. Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield Plus. The Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield Plus is a powerhouse in the micro-compact world, and it remains a top choice for 2026 because it manages to pack duty-size capacity into an ultra-slim, 1-inch wide frame. Citizens are gravitating toward this model for stockpiling because it preserves the proven reliability of the M&P line while significantly upgrading the firepower to 13+1 rounds. It features an 18-degree grip angle that provides a very natural point of aim, making it an easy transition for shooters who are used to full-size service pistols. The technical heart of the Shield Plus is its flat-face trigger, which replaces the old hinge design to provide a much more consistent finger placement and a cleaner, crisper break. The reset is tactile and audible, which is critical when you are training for fast, repeatable shots under stress. Smith & Wesson uses their proprietary Armonite finish on the slide and barrel, which is a high-grade corrosion-resistant coating that can handle the salt and moisture of daily inside-the-waistband carry without rusting or pitting. It is a simple, striker-fired tool that is famously easy to maintain, making it a low-maintenance option for those preparing for long-term uncertainty. The main benefit here is that you are getting a very compact and slender package that is incredibly easy to conceal while still offering a high-quality flat-face trigger that feels lighter and crisper than many of its rivals. The enhanced grip texture provides just the right amount of traction to manage recoil without being so abrasive that it scuffs your skin or ruins your clothes. Plus, the flexible magazine options allow you to switch between a flush 10-round magazine for maximum concealment and an extended 13-round magazine when you want a full hand grip for better control. On the downside, the slide stop button can be notoriously undersized and tight out of the box, often requiring a significant break-in period before it can be easily operated with just your thumb. You might also find that the 13-round magazine is extremely difficult to load to full capacity without a speed loader, which can be frustrating during a fast-range session. While the slimness is a pro for concealment, it can be a con for shooters with very large hands who might find the grip feels a bit too narrow to get a secure purchase, but for the average shooter, it is one of the best carry guns on the market. Number 4. Glock 19 Gen 5. The Glock 19 Gen 5 remains the undisputed gold standard for a do-it-all pistol in America, and its popularity is only surging as we head into 2026. It is the benchmark by which all other compact polymer pistols are measured, because it works in nearly every environment, from freezing mountain air to humid coastal swamps. The Gen 5 represents the most refined version of this platform, doing away with the controversial finger grooves and adding the Glock marksman barrel, which features an enhanced polygonal rifling design for significantly better accuracy at distance. Technically, the internals have been overhauled with a new firing pin safety and a beefier slide stop lever, making the cycle smoother even when running low-quality or steel-cased ammunition. The addition of the NDLC finish is a major win for those who live in harsh climates, as it provides a diamond-like hardness and extreme resistance to corrosion and scratches. Many families are stockpiling this specific model because of the sheer abundance of magazines, holsters, and spare parts available in every corner of the country, ensuring that your tool stays functional regardless of supply chain disruptions. You are getting an extremely reliable build that has been proven by police and military units worldwide, backed by the largest accessory support network in the history of firearms. The Gen 5 upgrades like the flared magwell allow for lightning-fast reloads under stress, while the simple maintenance steps mean you can detail strip this gun with nothing more than a punch tool. It strikes the perfect balance of being small enough for concealed carry, while still being large enough to fight with comfortably at the range. The main complaint continues to be the grip shape, which some find to be too blocky or brick-like compared to more ergonomic competitors like the Walther or Sig Sauer. You are also stuck with basic plastic sights from the factory, which are essentially placeholders that need to be replaced with steel or night sights for serious duty use. Additionally, the stock trigger is often described as having a mushy break that takes time and practice to master, compared to a crisp, single-action or flat-face trigger, but for sheer dependability, the 19 Gen 5 is the king. Number 3. Sig Sauer P365X Macro. The Sig Sauer P365X Macro is currently winning over shooters because it completely redefines the capacity-to-size ratio in the concealed carry market. It manages to fit 17 rounds of 9mm into a frame that is still remarkably thin, giving you the firepower of a full-size duty gun in a package that hides under a light t-shirt. Like its larger 10mm brother, the X Macro features an integrated expansion chamber built into the slide, which uses gas to drive the muzzle down and provides an incredibly flat shooting experience for such a light gun. The technical specifications on this gun are impressive. It comes standard with SIG X-ray, 3-day and night sights, and is factory cut for optics using the Shield RMSC footprint. The modular design is a huge advantage for 2026, as the internal fire control unit can be pulled out and swapped into different grip modules, or even used with different slide lengths if your needs change. The grip itself features a balanced texture that is aggressive enough for a firm hold but smooth enough for all-day concealment against the skin. It is the ultimate choice for the shooter who wants maximum power in a compact, highly controllable body. The standout feature is the excellent recoil control provided by the integrated compensator, which turns what could be a snappy micro-compact into a steady and predictable platform. You are getting a class-leading 17-round capacity and strong night sights right out of the box, all wrapped in a modular system that is very easy to customize. The thin profile and balanced grip make it one of the most comfortable guns to carry for 12 hours a day, while still giving you the confidence to engage targets at 25 yards. The higher price point and the cost of spare magazines can be a barrier for those trying to build a bulk stockpile. Because of the porting, the gun is noticeably louder than a standard 9mm, and will produce a vertical flash that can be distracting during low-light training. Some users find that the grip length is just long enough to print through thinner clothing, and the slide requires a firm hold to cycle properly, especially during the initial break-in period. But the capability of this gun is undeniable. Number 2. Canik TTI Combat. The Canik TTI Combat is the high-performance beast that has everyone talking as we head into 2026. Designed in partnership with Terran Tactical Innovations, this pistol brings competition-level speed and flat-shooting ballistics to a platform that is actually affordable for the average citizen. It features a 4.6-inch fluted and ported barrel paired with a proprietary quick-attach compensator that significantly reduces muzzle rise, allowing you to deliver rapid-fire strings with incredible precision. In an era of stockpiling, this is the gun people grab when they want elite performance out of a rugged, striker-fired duty tool. Technically, the TTI Combat stands out with its diamond-cut 90-degree brake trigger that averages a crisp 3.5 to 4-pound pull. The reset is an ultra-short 1.3 millimeters, meaning you barely have to move your finger before the gun is ready to go again. It ships with an 18-round standard capacity and included +3 base pads for 21 rounds of total firepower. The nitride-coated steel slide and aggressively textured polymer frame ensure that the internals and your grip remain secure and corrosion-resistant through years of heavy tactical use. The standout feature is the incredible value you get with competition-ready features like the ported barrel, quick-detach compensator, and a world-class trigger that outshines guns twice its price. You are getting high-capacity 18 and 21-round magazines right in the box, along with an optics-ready slide that sits low for fast sight acquisition. The innovation extends to the maintenance, as Canik includes a custom punch for nearly instant removal of the compensator for routine cleaning. Because it is built with such tight tolerances and a precisely tuned recoil spring, the gun can have initial feeding issues and requires a firm break-in period of at least 150 rounds of 124 grain or heavier ammo to settle in. The porting and compensator make the muzzle blast and noise significantly louder, and the venting gas will eventually coat your front sight or red dot lens in carbon. Additionally, while the included plastic optic plates are functional, they do not inspire the same long-term confidence as steel or aluminum mounting systems, but for the price, the performance is staggering. Number 1. Glock 19X. The Glock 19X is the pistol Americans are buying faster than any other as we push into 2026. This crossover model was Glock's first ever attempt at blending the full-size frame of a 17 with the compact slide of a 19, and it has become a legend for its perfect balance and ergonomics. Shooters are stockpiling the 19X because it represents the pinnacle of SHTF reliability, a tool that has been tested to operate effectively in temperatures from -40 to 200 degrees Celsius and remains highly resistant to water, mud, and dust. Technically, the 19X is built with the Glock Marksman barrel for repeatable 2 to 3 inch groups at 25 yards and features a durable, coyote-colored NPVD coating that withstands extreme chemicals and elements. It ships with 17-round flush-fit magazines and 2 19-round extended magazines, providing a massive amount of firepower right out of the Coyote tan case. The removal of the Gen 4 finger grooves and the addition of a lanyard loop and ambidextrous slide stop make it a versatile, duty-grade sidearm for any hand size. It is the most sought-after pistol today because it is simply the most stable and forgiving model in the Glock family. You are getting an incredibly reliable build that combines the superior recoil control and capacity of a full-size grip with the faster handling and lighter weight of a compact slide. The NPVD finish is one of the most durable coatings Glock has ever produced, and the inclusion of factory night sights and 3 high-capacity magazines provides exceptional value right out of the box. Plus, its huge holster and accessory support means you can always find the gear you need, even when supplies are low. The full-size grip makes the 19X significantly more challenging to conceal for everyday carry compared to a standard 19. Due to a small lip on the front of the magwell, the gun is not compatible with standard Gen 5 magazines unless you replace the base plates, which can be a nuisance for those already invested in the Gen 5 ecosystem. Finally, the stock trigger is a standard duty pull that many users still find a bit mushy, and the factory plastic sights, while upgraded to night sights, still sit on a slide that lacks an optics-ready cut from the factory, but for a pure combat sidearm, it is the one to have. Look, at the end of the day, the hardware is only one half of the equation. Whether you are leaning toward the high-capacity reliability of the Glock 19X or the precision-engineered flat shooting of the Canik TTI Combat, the most important thing is that you are training with what you have got. The technical takeaway here is simple. Focus on platforms with high parts, commonality, and proven track records, because when the supply chains get thin, you do not want to be hunting for proprietary springs. For your next range drill, I want you to run a standard 1-to-1-to-1. 1 shot from the holster, 1 reload, and 1 follow-up shot. All under the clock, to see how your chosen sidearm handles under that immediate pressure. I want to hear from you guys. Which of these 12 are you putting your money into for the long haul, and are you prioritizing capacity or concealability right now? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. If this breakdown helped you dial in your kit, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more field-tested technical deep dives. Stay sharp.